Hello, welcome to episode 4 of Money Talks. In today's episode, I want to talk about money and talking. LOL, just kidding. So, after some experimentation and analyzing, I have determined that if you make 7,500 GP a day trading, it is still worth your time. This is for people with 1 account, 10 accounts, 50 accounts, whatever. Okay, and how to make it worth your time is your initial investment. So, with that being said, this is Money Talks episode 4, and we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it, okay? So let me get rid of the calculator quick. So like I said before, even trading is good, even if it's a small amount, only 7,500 a day. The initial investment is what makes it more or less worth your time, in my opinion. Okay, so show the notepad and explain the cycles. So I timed the labor to trade, just specifically trading. Okay, so what I did is a login cycle, and there's a trade cycle. Don't pay attention to trade cycle; it's not that important. Login cycle is what's important right now. So we have a Jagex account open phase, which is where you click down here, your Jagex launcher, select, hit play. So then that's your phase there. That was to do 20 accounts. Sorry, I misclicked a bunch there. And there's the load 20 accounts, which is to wait for them and then to log them in past, with the Jagex account. So with 20 accounts, why that's so high, the 150 seconds there, is that when you go to log in 20 accounts, if you do it too fast, it'll time you out. So you have to do like 1, 2, 3, log them in, do whatever you're doing, then 1, 2, 3, whatever. And it wasn't perfect. I haven't tried to. I need to do more experiments to like really nail this down, but in this time trial I did it in 150 seconds, and that's rounded up. All these are rounded up. I always try to round up so that you get a time or whatever, or a slower time, so that when you try to repeat it, it's easy to repeat and you have a higher chance of actually beating my times. So I just like to go from the bottom baselines that when we talk about it, blah blah blah. Okay, so you get a total time of 260 seconds per 20 accounts. So 260 divided by 20 means that each account would take. So for you, if you had one account, your main account, it would take you about 13 seconds to log in, okay? There's other variables and stuff like that, but just for the sake of this video, we're just going to go with 13 seconds, okay? Now, 13 seconds to log in per week. That's how much labor it would cost you to reset a trade every week. Okay, that's why it's important. So your first cycle is going to be a little bit longer because you're going to set a trade. Okay, so there's a little bit more labor on top of this, but referring back to my script here real quickly, if you have enough money to get 7,500, I skipped a line. How to make it worth your time is your initial investment. I think I talked about that. If you have enough money to get 7,500 GP a day for 277 weeks, which 7,500 GP a day is nothing. Okay, most items do that. Okay, but if you have enough for 277 weeks, then the labor reset makes the math effectively 14 mil an hour. Okay, so what that means here, and maybe it's different though because I was doing that based on 20 accounts, but I mean, I'm just going to do the math again, and we'll just, if I have to change it, I'll change it. So how that works is you do your initial trade and you're going to make 7,500 a day. That trade will remain active for 7 days. Hopefully you guys can see all the math up there. So you get 52K, 52.5K a week. So then if we take that times 277 weeks, which is a long time, I understand, okay? You still make 14 million, okay? That's how much profit you should make if you hit all those variables. So now, 277, that's how many times, well, we'll say 276, but for the trade cycle. So it's going to be a tiny bit off because the trade cycle is going to be a little bit longer, okay? But if you had enough money for that 277 login cycles, you'll get 13 seconds per cycle, which gives you 3,600 seconds, which, if we take that into 60, is 60, slightly over. Yeah, that my math is almost, that's rounded down, okay? So it is slightly lower than for whatever this number is. But as you can see, the 13 seconds to log in times 277, which is how many weeks we are going to be resetting the trades, comes out to exactly 1 hour, okay? See how that comes out to exactly 1 hour? Well, just about. I know I'm saying the word exactly, and that's bothering me that I'm saying exactly because it's not exactly. So I'm sorry. Almost exactly. How's that? 1 hour. That's how much time it would literally take you to make those trades, okay? That would make you 14.5 mil per hour. over that whole 277 weeks. I understand, okay? I understand. I can hear the contention. When I say it out loud, there's immediate contention in my head, so I can hear a comment, I can hear the viewer. How? I mean, like, yeah, how? And 277 weeks, that's a lot of weeks. So then over 277 weeks, it's not a lot per hour. Actually, over 277 weeks, let's do the math because this sounds fun. 277 weeks times 7 is that many days times this many hours. So if we take the 14 million divided by 46,536, whoops. Never mind. I misclicked there. So I have to do it twice. What did I do? I'm insane. Anyway, I clicked the wrong button. Divided by 46,536. It's only 312 GP per hour. Oh, John McGarrett's. You silly Willy, you silly goose. I understand that. But we're talking about effective profit, meaning the labor time you put in, you get this input for your labor. Okay. It's 312 GP per hour. Literally over. If you were to, okay, still that doesn't paint the correct picture. It's also absurd, but it's not 312 GP per hour because you're only doing the labor. And if you just wait, you get that much money. Okay, does that make sense? While you're waiting, you're making 312 GP, but the labor is 0 because you're waiting. Okay, so does that make sense? Hopefully that kind of paints that picture more correctly. Because you're waiting, you're making 312 GP per hour. That's another way to think about it. Okay. So, 277 weeks is a long time. Okay. And 7,500 GP a day to make that kind of money, you would need to spend, like for fire runes, for instance, they are 4 GP each. You would need to have 30,000 per day. Okay. Which means 30,000 times 7, you would need 210,000 per week, and then take that times 277, you would need 58 million initial investment to make that money. So that's what I'm saying. The initial investment is what makes it more or less worth your time, in my opinion. And not in my opinion, I feel like that sounds pretty objective now that I say it out loud. I was trying to be whatever, a little bit objective, but if we divide that by 58 million seems out of the reach for a lot of people, but if we just divide that by 10, 5.8 million, it is still 1.4 million profit in 10% of the time. Or, yes, 1.4 mil profit in 27.7 weeks, which again, this still sounds like a long time. It's a long time, right? But it's a lever. I'm illustrating that it is a lever that goes up and down. Okay, it goes up and down. So the more money you put in, the longer the money sits and the longer you make money. So then to increase the speed that you get the return, you increase the amount of trades you make. So now we take it times 3. So 277 if you take that divided by 3. So you're making 7,500 per slot. That's easy with one slot. Okay, so now if we take that times 3 slots, now you're getting it in 92 weeks. So now it's already that much faster. So then if you have 3 accounts with 3 slots, now you're getting it in 30 weeks. If you have 10 accounts with 3 slots, you're getting it in 30. Wait, I screwed that up. That'd be divided by 30. So divided by another 3. You get it in 9 weeks. See how that scales up really quickly? Just based on, you just add a little bit more to it. And I know I'm not showing very much so like RuneScape-y stuff, and it's more all text and stuff, and then it'd be hard for you guys to see if I'm not doing RuneScape stuff. And this is just a hypothetical to illustrate how fast trading outperforms money making versus other moneymakers. For instance, you would need to do the number 1 moneymaker on the wiki to outperform these gains. And then also let me talk about the moneymakers on the guides. So if we look at Nex or the Fortis dungeons and stuff like that, that is that much per hour based over a long period of time of you doing that until you get a good drop. But until you do a good drop, those don't actually get you that much money. Okay, so about 10 minutes sounds pretty good. I think that's good. I mean, and I want to emphasize here, the 7500 GP a day, this is child's play. Anybody can do this. You can do that with pure essence at 1 GP. I mean, okay. So the initial investment too, that's also another lever. 5817, that's just with fire roots. If you just take pure essence, you can get similar results. You can beat 7500 a day, but you can do it with 14 mil. And I'm going off 7500 a day, but normally, if you follow the items I picked and all the content I put out, you should be hitting 30K. So you're already up 4x. So this 277, realistically, based on my results, that if you just copy me or come to the Discord, talk to everybody, ask them for their picks. There's some people in the Discord who have better picks than me, have better information, but people have just been following my methods, have been making millions and millions and millions of GP. Okay. So that being said, so now we're taking it divided by 4. So like with one slot, or three slots, sorry, you're getting that same profit margin in 69 weeks already, just based on our original hypothetical. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, it's not that hard, and trading very easily outperforms even the most basic trading, which is why I keep talking about the basics. Back to the basics, money talks, free to play people, whatever. And like, I'm pretty much like, I'm niching down even further. And like, I have this guy I talk to, and he gives me a lot of really good feedback on how to reach the mid-tier player. And I'm not really concerned with that anymore. Like, I think that's what the eternal struggle I've been having. So this is kind of yapping on the end. I'm kind of done with the concept here, the Money Talks episode 4. I just didn't want it to turn into like a half an hour video. So I tried to keep the concept really small and simple for us to just the pod class, you know what I'm saying? But like, I am here for new players. People who are new to trading, who are brand new to RuneScape, who are free to play, whatever. That's who I'm targeting. And if anybody else in the other, like, the other avatars of the other types of players, if you don't want to believe in this, go for it, bro. Do you, man? I'm not going to try to convince you or whatever, or convince that my way's better or whatever. It's just, this is just the way I play the game, and I'm just going to try to teach that. And my webcam's been lagging like crazy again today. I need to buy a new one for real. But yeah, so that's Money Talks episode 4. Hope it made sense. Hope it was valuable. Please subscribe. If you want to have a guy who gives a shit about whether you make money or not, a Discord, a community, I'm not going to sell you nothing. I just want to help players get some more money on RuneScape, because I remember how it sucked not knowing how to do it and just being so overwhelmed with the entire process. So that being said, have a nice day. Hopefully everybody's holiday season's going real good, and I hope to see you in the next episode and in Road to Plat, Max Plat. Please subscribe again. Sorry. I'm really tired. See you later.